and Russia's alleged involvement in the 2016 elections instead of covering the terror attacks. So are they missing the big picture here, or are they deliberately changing the focus to President Trump instead of talking about what happened in London? Here to debate that, Democratic strategist and attorney Evangeline Gomez, and also Ashley Hayek, Republican strategist and CEO of Golden State Consultants. We're going to start with you, Evangeline. I just want to ask you a quick question. What do you think of, do you think there is a narrative being pushed there, or how do you feel?
I don't think that a certain narrative is being pushed. I actually think that you do see on all the networks fair and balanced coverage regarding the London terrorist attacks. Now, if you expect every network to come out and support Trump's travel ban, that's a whole different story. As you know, this travel ban is going to be scrutinized by the Supreme Court if they are to take the case. And one of the big issues, as an attorney, I expect the justices, at least one, to ask, what has prevented you and your government from reviewing these measures?
Right.
You've now had since January 27th when the executive order was signed, and there's nothing that's prevented you from reviewing the measures and the vetting process that you say you need to review. The travel ban is something completely different. It doesn't prevent you or preclude you from taking an audit of what's going on.
Ashley, let's ask you real quick. I mean, obviously, the London story was covered. Everybody covered this story. It was a major breaking story, and we saw a lot of coverage of it. But some networks did appear to maybe choose to lead with, stories that might be a little bit older and not as pressing as what happened in London this weekend. What do you think?
I think it's really what they're talking about and how they're talking about it. When was the last time you heard about somebody in this past year in London being killed by climate change? When you have terrorist attacks taking place, innocent people being murdered, and the left is telling us that we are overreacting, that we should be focusing on climate change and these other issues, it's wrong. Listen, you have Madonna who said she wanted to blow up the White House. You have Snoop Dogg who kills the president in his music video. Then you have Kathy Griffin decapitate the president this past week. And this extreme rhetoric is being used by the left the same way that they're using extreme rhetoric to talk about climate change. And what I want to know is how long until somebody listens and then invokes some level of violence in this country?
Yeah. Evangeline, you want to jump in, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Comments that celebrities or comedians make are totally irrelevant to this. That doesn't define the left. And
they're not irrelevant. They completely they get so much attention.
And the issue here is that no one, climate change, who has died from climate change? Look, I'm asthmatic. I suffer from severe allergies. And I know that without some type of climate change measures, that my situation is going to get worse. I have a child. Who's to say what type of environment he's going to grow up in?
Okay, then you should actually be really disappointed in this plan as well. When this plan has absolutely no impact on our environment in the long run.
Let's both agree that these are both serious issues. We understand that, but let's get back to the topic here. We had a story earlier about Thomas Roberts over at MSNBC asking whether or not, asking somebody if you thought the president might be trying to, inspire an attack, that he wanted to provoke an attack happening, which, a lot of people think is an unfair question. Evangeline, I want to ask you, would you say there's also could maybe be an argument that the left maybe wants to deny that these attacks are happening, that they don't really like covering these stories because it doesn't really fit, a liberal narrative?
Look, there are lots of issues as to how people are going to cover this. You want to have a variety of opinions, and I think that's what you're seeing many times. People who are being controversial because obviously viewers want somebody who's going to push the envelope. That attracts people. But the issue is that I think I've seen with all the networks I've looked at, people have been trying to cover these terrorist attacks in a responsible way, to provide facts as opposed to providing extreme opinions and saying we need to ban Muslims, we need to go after a certain faith. And I think we need to be responsible as people and as journalists as to the type of information we're providing. We want debates in this country to advance, to be civil. We don't want a situation where we're retreating from the national stage and we're creating fear and stereotypes amongst a population of people.
Ashley,
it doesn't get us anywhere.
Okay, understood. Ashley,
meanwhile,
it certainly doesn't.
Okay. Ashley, go ahead.
Meanwhile, a major news network over the weekend said that the London police fired over 50 rounds and killed the three terrorists. I mean, why are they trying to make the police officers in London the villain? And that's the rhetoric that you're getting from the liberal media. It's unacceptable. And this is what the American people are sick and tired of. They're saying that we're overreacting over a terrorist attack, but meanwhile, if you drive an SUV, then you're going to wipe out the entire planet. The rhetoric is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm not. Yeah, well, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm not sure that they wanted to make the police officers look like they were the bad guys in this,
right.
but understood. Ladies, thanks so much for coming on this morning. We do appreciate it.
Have a great morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Jackie,
Thanks, Rob. Al Gore is confronted on his failed global warming predictions as he slams President Trump for leaving